Hello, welcome to Luigi's Gaming Lounge. This is Luigi Mario, and today we are recording episode 50 of Luigi's Gaming Lounge. I'm joined this evening by Trip Hazard, aka
Barnaby. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, Barnaby? All well, I hope?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, thank you.
Good. Any gaming for you this past week?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you had to think about it then.
I did
You
because
did.
it's been a long week.
It's been a long week. Fair enough, I'll let
But
you off.
no, I haven't. No. I spent some time out in the real world.
Oh, okay. You had to
Yeah.
step away from the sort of virtual reality that we live in. Oh,
Exactly, that's right. I stepped outside the Matrix for just a brief moment.
I don't blame you.
But get us 50 episodes, 50.
I know. I mean, there is more than that, but the mini episodes we didn't sort of class as main episodes
Yeah.
as such. But
Which is fair enough.
exactly. I just wanted to really start by saying, because this is going to be a shorter than usual episode, somewhere between a mini and a full. But I have done a little bit of gaming this week.
Oh, what you been gaming?
Well, on the recommendation of a fellow member of ours, Terror's Sam, he plays a game that is called World War 3, and he's been bugging me for a while to get it.
Oh, yeah.
And I caved. I did.
Is that a free-to-play?
It isn't. It's gonna go free to play. Supposedly, it should have gone free to play. I think the end of March, but they've had such an influx of new gamers that I think they've sort of held off the free to play. But it is coming. It is still coming. And now I'll just give you a bit of my experience with this. So Sam was telling me it's really good. You know, they've improved the game a lot. It's still in. I believe it's still in beta. And he pitched it to me that it's a bit like how Battlefield used to be.
Mm-hmm. So
it piqued my interest. I had a look. And to be fair, it only cost £11.39 on Steam. So I thought, right, well, we've got to try this out, haven't we? And I must say, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, my thoughts on it are, Battlefield 2042, is a around a £60 game. Well, when it initially released, and obviously anybody that's listened to us before knows sort of my views and the LGL sort of general feeling towards.
begins with sh and ends with it.
Exactly. It's been the biggest disappointment of last year, gaming wise, in my eyes, because I believe it released in October 21. So anyway, bearing in mind price point and how much paid for this, like I said, £11.39. Oh my goodness, does it look amazing? Does it play awesomely? It is just, to me, this game is what Battlefield should have been. And that's quite a bit, for me anyway, I think that's quite a big thing for me to say, but I stand by it. It visually looks gorgeous. Even just in the menus, it looks really good. I believe they use Unreal Engine 4, I believe, and there's a lot of customization, and it's a good mix.
It doesn't look bad though. I'm just having a look at the trailer now, and they're actually gone to the trouble doing things like motion capture. So
yeah,
I've heard of the developer before, but they must have some money behind them.
Yeah, so I mean, it started off, and I think they got off to a bit of a rocky start of the game, but they've just been improving. It came out October 2018, so not quite at sort of the 4-year mark. But yeah, I mean, it's always a good sign when a developer listens to their players and make updates and improve things, and that is definitely what they seem to be doing with this. So yeah, anybody out there that is craving that sort of Battlefield game, that Battlefield feel, I highly recommend trying out World War 3. Obviously you can get it through Steam. I'm not aware if it's available anywhere else. I haven't looked, so all I know is it is on Steam. Funnily enough, it says here platforms. It also says Android, so it's looking like. I mean, I don't think it's on there now, but I assume once it actually officially launches as free to play, once it's out of this sort of beta stage, I assume we're going to see this game on mobiles and tablets as well. I mean, we have the likes of.
Well, it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be unprecedented.
I mean, we have.
Modern Warfare on Android. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So yeah. I don't see why it shouldn't. But no, PC experience with it so far has been very positive, very very positive. So if you're like I said, if you're craving that Battlefield feel, go check it out. Go check it out. But yeah, so Barnaby,
yes,
I did say this was going to be a short episode, and it is going to be a short episode. I'm afraid.
Short but sweet.
Short but sweet, like us. But that's what the wife says. No. Now, I'll be honest with you here. We've spoken in regards to our segment that we do, the Trash or Stash.
Yes.
And I have found it very hard. I've told you this, obviously, prior to recording. I found it very hard to come up with a trash. And just so the listeners know, I mean, me and Barnaby were actually saying... Barnaby initially brought it up and said, it is always difficult listing a game as trash, especially because there's there's developers out there who maybe they did put their everything into a game, and there's this random podcast called Luigi's Gaming Lounge, giving games stick. But bear in mind, listeners, this is our own personal opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that obviously the game itself is actually trash. It's just for our individual.
Despite the name, it is just straight more of a talking point, really.
Yeah,
100%. Because I appreciate like I mentioned before we started, Half-Life 2. It's definitely a game not for me, but there's thousands of people out there like rated it the best game ever, best PC game ever. 10 out of 10 and so forth, and they really genuinely enjoyed it. That's fine. And I'm not, on the other hand, I'm not going to be saying that the games that I really enjoy and rave about, they're going to be enjoyed by everyone else either.
No,
so I think it's just more to create a talking point and to get them another perspective. So
yeah, definitely.
I think all our viewers understand that anyway. So
yeah, I should imagine. So I just thought I'd highlight that really because I know of making any sort of content.
It's good to put that out there.
Yeah, because making any sort of content, whether it's making games,
it's tough. It's tough. It's not just the actual creation process itself. I think it's actually just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, whether you're doing a podcast or like recording a song or writing a novel or programming a game, it's all you're kind of exposing yourself to criticism, and that's a tough thing to do. Tough thing to do. So
definitely.
Fair play to all developers out there.
That's it. Keep on pumping out them games. Just try and make them good.
Yeah, just at least try making them good.
Yeah. So, I think, Barnaby, because our Trash or Stash segment, like you said, it creates a talking point. I think it's time we move to Trash or Stash. Now, Barnaby, can I have your stash for the week, please?
I can. So I've gone for 2 Nintendo DS games this week.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's not a format that I've talked about very much before.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Although this first game is actually multi-format. It is available originally on DS, but it can also be played on other formats as well. But it is 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
Oh.
Sometimes abbreviated as 999.
I've not heard of that.
Okay, so
That's new to
it's
me.
semi-obscure. It's have you heard of the visual novel genre?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it is part visual novel, part escape room.
Oh, wow.
So this young guy, Junpei, wakes up aboard a ship, and his cabin door is locked and it's filling with water. So he has to solve puzzles in order to escape from the room before he drowns. And then the story
Right.
develops from there. And it
Okay.
is a twisty-turny story. However, one of the key selling points is that you can't unlock the full story in one playthrough, because there are some mysterious, even more mysterious things surrounding the series of events that require multiple playthroughs, and things change over the playthroughs. So even though
That,
you may be doing similar things,
yeah.
they have different outcomes. But I don't want to spoil it because it is one of the key selling points of the game, and it really elevates it above any other kind of game in the genre. So I think probably this 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors is probably the best example of the kind of visual novel escape room hybrid. I mean, they're similar in a way to the old point and click style adventures. There isn't that much pointing and clicking, but it has got that kind of feel to it. But it is really interesting, and even some of the dialogue. There's a lot of dialogue, and a lot of essentially what are cutscenes to go through, and that might put some people off. But although some of it is just like rather basic, there is a lot of stuff in there that is quite thought provoking. So the
Right.
characters talk about some really interesting concepts, both in terms of what's possible with science, but also things like morality as well. So it's quite grown up in a way. The script quite grown up. There are some really childish and silly moments, but it's also can be quite grown up in places as well. So
Yeah.
I do recommend it. I think you can get all 3 games on PS4 as well. And the 2 sequels are definitely worth looking at as well. Not as good as the first game, but they also have their own strong points as well. So I'd definitely give them a go. And if you can pick them up cheap, yeah, I definitely recommend it to any fans of that genre.
Yeah, it sounds quite interesting. I have obviously used the old Googly to have a look and see what it's about. And no, it definitely looks interesting. I think the DS, for people that enjoy that type of genre, there are so many titles available, aren't there, for that? For that,
Again, it's just like
console.
Nintendo pushing the boundaries, because with the touchscreen, I think it's like the first mainstream console to have a touchscreen.
Yeah.
And there have been imitators since, but I think it's like the first mainstream one. And also things just like some games you'd be able to use the microphone, for example, as well, like famously shouting objection with Phoenix Wright.
No, it's yeah. Well, I mean those type of games I didn't really experience much on that, because I did have a DS. In fact, I think we still have one in the home somewhere. But no, I didn't really get to experience many of that sort of genre. There was a couple of titles, but yeah, no, that particular one that you put in.
I have to say, I quite enjoyed the DS. Probably, maybe even more so than the Game Boy Advance, because although there are good, there's a lot of classic Game Boy Advance titles, even like original Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I do recall spending a lot of hours on the DS.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. I think you have to. It's one of those consoles that, to me, I say this, but I think a lot of it's really bad, but a lot of Nintendo consoles generations are the same. That you have to sift through quite a lot of rubbish to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of shovelware out there as well.
Oh yeah, heck of a lot.
It was terrible on the GBA because you had a lot of dross, and also the DS had a lot of dross as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same with any format. Like we were talking about your new favourite game just before the podcast started.
Yes, yeah.
That you spotted on Xbox Series X. I'll let you talk about it a little bit.
So obviously I mentioned to you that I'd come across this game, and I
instantly had to Google.
Yeah, all I could remember, it was something to do with pizza, and so there's this title called The Pizza Delivery Boy Who Saved the World. Now, guys, if you've not seen this,
you're missing out.
Yeah, I beg you to Google that title, The Pizza Delivery Boy
fake.
Who Saved the World.
It looks 100% fake, but apparently it's a real game.
I know, it really does. It looks like something that's a fake game. But
it does look like we've quickly gone on Wikipedia or whatever, knocked up some screenshots and made it appear as if this is an actual game when it's not.
Well,
but no, apparently it is real.
It's legitimate. I'm just looking at the achievements for it. There's one here.
Now go on.
Go on a brand new pizza adventure. Another one. Meet someone claiming to be your future self.
Yeah, because apparently this game involves time travel as well, and it's semi-autobiographical.
That's just... That's
brilliant.
A part of me really wants to try it, just to have a crack.
I really want you to try it as well. I'm not going to play it myself, but I'll happily watch somebody else plow through it.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to see. I'll have to see just how much, how much of my life it will waste. I'll have to find out how many hours it takes to complete. A title like that,
there's
I can't
no
imagine.
way it's going to be like 120-hour epic. There's no way.
You never know. It might shock you. Yeah. But yeah, guys, The Pizza Delivery Boy Who Saved the World. Go and check that out, my friends.
Quality.
But thank you very much for your stash there, Barnaby. And I'm going to list my stash now. Now, this is probably one of those that people say, oh yeah, that's an easy stash or whatever. But obviously, I'd like to give a few reasons. So my stash this week is actually Grand Theft Auto 4.
Nice.
Yes.
That is my favourite GTA. Good choice.
Do you know, as time's gone on, I've sort of... I don't know, I just keep wanting to go back and replay this. And I have the sweet memory when this came out.
I do too.
Yeah, I have the sweet memory of getting this game.
It was mind-blowing.
Oh,
because I remember the old PS2 GTAs, and I was like, oh, the clunky graphic. They were revolutionary for the time.
Yeah.
But GTA 4 was it was truly like next generation compared to the previous GTAs.
We was playing, GTA San Andreas, for example, prior to this. No, don't get me wrong, absolutely brilliant title in my opinion. Personally, I had a whale of a time with it, and I still do to this day. So jumping from that to Grand Theft Auto 4, it was just like Barnaby said, absolutely mind blowing. It really, that was one of those titles that when you loaded it up for the first time, it actually felt like a proper next gen title. And one of the
it was almost like you were living in a fictional New York City.
Yeah, it was just so good. Like I said, I remember getting it for the first time, and I was so excited, literally so excited. I could not wait to play it. And
I very rarely get games early on release, and I don't think it was day one, but it's definitely within the first week of it being released I got it.
Yeah, I think it was similar for myself. And I want to say that my wife, who was obviously my girlfriend at the time, Maddie, I seem to remember she may have treated me to this at the time.
And that was when you knew she was the one.
Yeah, that's when I was like, this bird's a keeper. But no, everything from the graphics to the, obviously graphics isn't everything. Even the gameplay itself, I thought was fantastic. And Just the way, the way you could move the character, and just the guns in it, the sound effects. I've got. Do you know what? I've got to get this again. I've got to play it again. So yeah, that's my stash, and I hope people think that's a worthy stash.
No, well, I definitely agree with that one. No, that is my favourite of the series, and it was probably. It's tough because Red Dead Redemption was released in the same kind of era. And it's a toss-up really between those two, because both of them really make you feel it's like the immersion. The Red Dead Redemption really makes you feel like you're living out in a western, and GTA 4 really makes you feel like you're a gangster, moving to New York City for the first time, and then gradually making your way up the hierarchy. All the while, you're on this revenge mission as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it does have its flaws, like the interior sections are very underdeveloped.
Yes, I remember
outdoors
that.
It was fantastic. Interior, they were just basically like boxes.
Yeah.
With very little to do. So yeah, there are some flaws, but you can't have everything.
No.
And I think this was probably as close to being perfect as it could be for the time.
100%.
I was really blown away with it.
I think they sort of, in regards to the interior, when GTA 5 came along, I feel like they really sort of sorted that out in that installment, because the interior of buildings in that game are very detailed. Well, from what I've experienced, anyway. So yeah, no fair.
But even in GTA 4, I mean, things just like the pedestrians and the traffic as well. It felt like a living, breathing world.
Oh yeah, it really did. Yeah, yeah.
And you got all these little random events like cops would go like chasing after shoplifters or whatever.
Yeah.
Gang fights would break out. Pedestrians would argue and swear at each other in front of you.
Yes.
So it's all that kind of like weird interaction between the NPCs that made it feel more alive.
Definitely. There's I'm struggling to remember. I know this is maybe going a bit off track because I'm almost certain it isn't one of the GTA titles. But I seem to remember an open world game where it might have been a GTA title. Was it Vice City? Well, anyway, I'll tell you what it is, shall I? I seem to remember if police were chasing somebody and you sort of hit the person or made them stop, sort of thing, that you'd be rewarded. Does that ring any bells? I mean, it doesn't seem like...
Just run that by me again.
So, for example, if you see a policeman chasing after somebody in the game, if you was to intercept that person, by punching them or something like that, you would then be rewarded with a small, monetary reward.
Well, sure, it sounds like something that would happen in GTA.
You think?
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah,
I was just stood there with my popcorn watching the chaos.
I'll have to look into that afterwards and see if I can work it out. But anyway, moving on. So, Barnaby, have you got your trash ready for us, please?
I have, yes. Another DS game, and like some of my previous picks, it's one that's been critically acclaimed at the time, but one that I just didn't really get into. It's a game called The World Ends With You.
Okay.
Which is from Square Enix. It's a big developer, of course. And I think it was maybe only like the second title on the DS, but it got really great critical acclaim. And it's basically like an RPG, scrolling beat 'em up hybrid.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of potential, but the story itself was quite interesting. Again, it's about a young guy He wakes up and he finds that supernatural forces have been abducting people from the streets of Tokyo. And he is given a 60-minute time limit to reach a certain building or face elimination from this strange game that he's been enrolled in, the Reaper game.
Right.
So it's a very interesting plot, and he meets a girl along this way, and they team up to fight off these supernatural forces and try to make their way to the building in time. So really interesting plot, but gameplay just didn't do it for me. There was a lot going on the screen at once, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I didn't feel connected to the action. And the graphics are fine. They're this kind of cool, cel-shaded graphical style. Very similar almost to like a 2D Jet Set Radio, if you're familiar with that game.
I've seen it, I've not really played it.
Yeah, it's almost got like Jet Set Radio kind of vibe, but in 2D. So like very exaggerated cel shading, which again was cool, but it's just that the gameplay didn't really grab me. It's nice to have those elements of two genres that I like, so the RPG and the scrolling beat 'em up. Both. I'm quite keen on both of those genres. But I played it for a bit, tried to enjoy it because it had been so critically acclaimed, but just didn't grab me. So after a few hours of gameplay, never played it again.
You was like, nope, that's not for me.
No, it was not for me. So yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Well, thank you very much for your trash, Barnaby.
Thank you.
Now, my trash this week. It's been very hard to decide, but this title actually isn't that old, and it is a game called Road Rage. Have you heard of it?
Road Rage. Not wasn't there a Simpsons game called Road Rage?
There was indeed.
But it's not that one.
No. So basically, I remember being really excited about this game because when I was younger, I absolutely loved playing Road Rash. Do you know Road Rash?
Classic, yeah. I played all three on the Mega Drive.
Yeah. Now, I think I started playing the PlayStation 1 era, and I think the one that I started on...
Oh, wow. Oh, you went straight to the 3D ones.
Yeah, so I think it was...
They're not as good. They're not as good. You missed out.
I think it was actually called Road Rash 3D, the very first one that I played.
Nah, they went downhill.
Yeah, so, well... That initially for me, I absolutely loved Road Rash 3D. So again, I saw this one. Right, it's called Road Rage. It's got a cool picture. It looks, this is going to be the next, sort of Road Rash sort of style of game. It's an 18, or it's going to, Anyway, I tried it and I just thought, what a pile of poo. I'm sorry, but. It's just, no, it wasn't for me. And by the looks of it, I mean, I've just looked to see if I'm alone in that opinion. And it actually has only got 33% on Metacritic. Xbox Tavern, 1.8 out of 10. So...
Wow, couldn't even make the 2-star mark.
Yeah, I mean, it... So yeah, I said it wasn't that long ago. So it was actually 2017, which isn't that long ago, really.
No, not in the grand scheme of things.
No, exactly.
Not to long-time gamers like us.
Exactly. I'm just having a look at what some people are writing. It looks like people put the, had the same sort of idea as me. Somebody's put here, mistakenly bought it thinking it was Road Rash. Obviously, where they got inspiration from. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I say, visually it was okay. It's not an issue so much with the visuals. It was actually, this was a case where I found it was the gameplay itself that let it down. I feel like...
I think, that's got to be the common thread, I think all of our trash games, it's always down to the poor gameplay. You can, dress it up with the nicest graphics that you want, but at the end of the day, if it ain't fun to play, it's going in the bin.
Well, exactly. This is the thing, and I think
except Bubsy for some reason.
Hey, you leave my little Bubsy alone. But yeah, I feel like maybe if they concentrate a little bit more on the gameplay, maybe it would have had a shot. But yeah, that's my trash.
I think it's one of those semi-forgotten genres that could be revived well, because with the improvements in technology, you could make it like a relatively large multiplayer game, like on the original Mega Drive games. You could only play up to 2 players, and the rest of the 15, I think, other bikers were all computer controlled.
Yeah.
But you could have like this mad, like 20-person motorbike race, with all these bikers like crashing into each other and beating each other up with clubs and so forth.
Yeah.
And that would be really cool. And also, I think with the Mega Drive games, they were quite limited to their settings. So you had different states of America that you could drive through, and in the later ones, different countries around the world that you could drive around. But graphically, they weren't massively impressive. So you could do a lot with it nowadays to make it more interesting, more open world, a bit like Road Rage tried to, and make it a sort of really great multiplayer game. But it is all about the gameplay. So if you can't get the gameplay right, then it'll quickly fail, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, I'd definitely like to see a proper update to Road Rash, definitely.
I mean, for me, now, this game came out actually before Road Rage, and it's called Road Redemption. Now, again, it's not obviously.
I think we played it a little bit, didn't we?
I believe you played it when you was around mine, I believe.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it's not. It's not Road Rash. However, for me, this is a game that's 3 years older than Road Rage. However, I feel this game, Road Redemption, is much more enjoyable to play than
it was. Yeah.
That's
from
what
I can understand. From what I understand, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
although it's still not quite there.
No, that's what I mean. It's not. Road Redemption isn't obviously like for like. However, I would go as far as saying, at the moment, if you want that style of game like what Road Rash was, Road Redemption is still, at this moment in time, the closest thing to that, in my opinion. But yeah.
What formats is it on? Just PC? Or?
No, I think it actually... Let me have a look. Let me check. So, it actually didn't release on PC until 2017. But it released initially in 2014, so that would have been on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Oh, I see.
But even
PC?
Yeah. And it released on Wii U, believe it or not. And it's also had a release on the Nintendo Switch. You see, a game like that, handheld, I see the enjoyment in, for a handheld sort of experience. But that's just me. But, so yeah, like I said, Road Rage is going in the trash. But if anybody out there would like to contact us here at Luigi's Gaming Lounge and let us know if you think we're right, we're wrong, you can do so by emailing us at luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. That's luigisgaminglounge@gmail.com. Now, guys, we're going to wrap up there because that's going to be the end of episode 50. Like I said,
50.
50. It is a shorter one.
Halfway to 100.
Halfway to 100. Oh my goodness. Seems crazy, really, that we've done so many episodes, but long may they continue.
Exactly.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening to me and Barnaby rant on about what we like and what we don't like. And Barnaby, thank you very much for
Our
joining
word is
me.
gospel.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, thank you very much.
What we like stands as law. What we dislike is banished forever to hell.
Exactly. But no, thank you very much for being on here with me this evening, Barnaby. Much appreciated.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And yeah, we'll see you next week for episode 51. Enjoy your week, guys. See you later. Bye.
See ya.